Thank you, Abby. Well, the U.S. State Department now says there has been no suspension of adoptions of Russian children by Americans.
But families who are trying to adopt from that country say they're worried a suspension could still happen. WSBT's Kristen Bean looked into that today. Kristen, a local family just brought their Russian daughter home last week.
Yeah, the Friend family has been waiting 5 years to bring their daughter Anya home. They finally did, just one day before the world found out about another 7-year-old Russian boy. The boy's adoptive parent, a woman from Tennessee, sent him back to Russia on a plane by himself. Now a U.S. delegation will travel to Moscow next week to attempt to restore trust. Marty and Kathy Friend of Middlebury began the adoption process for Anya in 2005, but in July of that year, a woman in Virginia beat her adopted Russian daughter to death. That prompted the adoption agency to suspend all adoptions to the United States. They finally brought Anya home last Wednesday, but still have many friends who are trying to adopt children from Russia.
During the process, I've made so many friends that are still trying to get their children home. One of our very good friends that lives in Atlanta just landed in Russia today when this news broke, and they go to court next week, and my heart just breaks for them.
Reports of a suspension have been circulating because of comments made by a Russian Foreign Ministry spokesman. The U.S. State Department's Consular Affairs Office, however, says it's confirmed with the U.S. Embassy in Moscow and the Russian Embassy in Washington that adoptions are still being processed. A U.S. delegation plans to meet with Russian officials next week to discuss a possible adoption treaty. Russia says such a treaty might be signed if adoptions to the U.S. are to continue.
So do adoption agencies think this incident will make adoptions more difficult going forward?
They just don't know yet. I spoke with the CEO of the National Council for Adoption. They're an advocacy group. He says he hopes the delegation will be successful because adoptions from that country already take years to complete, as in the situation with the Friends. He also says a suspension will end up hurting more children than the abuses a suspension prevents.
All right.